Hi everyone, welcome to FISC Financial Studies classes. Today we are going to study about CFA level 1 reading number 48 LOS1. This reading is about all the type of derivatives and majorly we will study about futures and options. The LOS1 describes what is the definition of derivatives and how we can distinguish between exchange traded and over the counter derivatives. First we start with what is derivatives. So derivative is basically an instrument that derives its performance from the performance of an underlying asset. This definition seems very complex when we hear it for the first time. What it basically says that a derivative instrument doesn't have its own value. Its value is basically depends on the value of the underlying asset on which this derivative is taken. When we study further about derivatives, the definition will become quite clear to you. Suppose there is an underlying asset like commodity like onion, stock like Amazon or Microsoft, or there are some currency exchanges like between dollar and euro or dollar and yen. The derivative instruments are typically work on all these things and even things apart from these like derivatives on weather or anything else. The basically what here we can understand from this is that these are the underlying assets and derivative instruments derive their value from the moment in the price of these things. There are two types of derivative instruments. One is forward commitments and other is contingent claims. Suppose there is a businessman, he want to buy some crops, so he goes to a farmer and he says that I want to buy your crop, but we don't want to buy it today, but he want to buy it in the future. Suppose it is 2 months, so he go and talks about it. Then the farmer, if he agrees that he will sell the crop to the businessman after 2 months, then there is a deal between them. So if there is a deal between the businessman and farmer, they may go for an oral agreement or they may even write a contract that the businessman will buy the 2 ton of crop like wheat at $10 per kg after 2 months. This kind of contract would be there. It could be oral, it could be written, and that's called a forward commitment. So there are some risk in this forward commitment. One is like, suppose the crop is not up to the mark, and this could be related to stocks also, that the price of stocks goes down. In that case, the businessman won't be interested in paying the same price for the crop, and hence he would be in a loss to buy the same crop at a higher price. On the other hand, if the market price of the crop goes up, there is a chance that farmer would want to sell it in the market, but because of this obligation he won't be able to sell it. If you are properly doing it for a risk management purpose, in which the farmer has suppose farmer had a cost of $8 per kg on that wheat, and that's why he just want to make a profit of $2 per kg. So it would be good for him to do a contract, because in the future it could be happen that the price of wheat goes to as less as $6 or $7 per kg and he would be incurring a loss. So for the risk management purpose, the farmer want to do this deal. Similarly, there is a case that the businessman is planning to create a product which uses wheat, and that's why he need it, and his price for that product is such that he can afford up to $10 per kg wheat, and that's why he don't want to pay 11 or 12 if that is the price in the future, and that's why he would be willing to pay 10. He want to look at how much profit he could make if the price goes down, until and unless he is quite sure that price goes down. So that's the case where they are doing it for proper risk management purpose, and that's why this is not an issue for them. But for the people who are just speculating that this is going to be the moment and that's why they are in this kind of deal, they would really regret if the deal doesn't go in their direction. So if somebody thinks that price of wheat will go up, and that's why he make a deal, fixed price of 10 today, that tomorrow when it will be 12, he would buy from the farmer and directly sell it in the market and earn a profit. But if it becomes less than 10, like 8, he had to buy it from the farmer, and he is speculating, he didn't have any use of that way, so he would be in a loss. So that's the case here. The third point is that either of the party didn't obey. So because of this first two situation, there is a chance that one of the party run away from the contract and in that case there would be a problem with the other party, and that's called counterparty risk. We will look about how we can solve this kind of risk in the next point. Other kind of derivative is the contingent claim. So as we can see in the first two issues in the forward commitments, that there could be chance that the crop or the stock is not up to the mark as they expected, and they want to move out of the deal. So in such a case, a businessman go to the farmer and he say, I want to buy your crop, but it will happen only if I like it. So that means he is basically saying that you have to sell me your crop, and if I don't buy it, you are independent to go anywhere and sell it, but you are obliged to sell it to me until and unless I tell you that I don't want it. And in such a case, the farmer has an obligation, the businessman has a right. So farmer agrees to it only if he is getting some kind of advantage, such as an advance payment, for $10 per kg crop, he is getting $1 per kg premium or any premium, which he is going to keep it in his pocket even when the businessman declined to buy the crop. So in such a cases, when one party has right, the other has obligation, the party with the right pay the premium to the party with the obligation. So in such a case, when both agrees, they will sign a contract that the businessman will buy the crop at 10 per kg in 2 months at a premium of $1 per kg. So that's the premium which he is paying now, and this kind of claims are called options. So this can happen in the other way around also, when farmers say that I will sell the crop to the businessman at this fixed price, and if I don't want to sell it, I have a right. So in such a case, he will pay the premium to businessman to take that risk that he has to buy the crop at 10 kg even when it is less than 10, but if it goes to more than 10, the farmer can go to the market and sell it and earn a higher profit. So these are the contingent claims, which are basically solving our first two problems. But there is an issue of counterparty risk. So how we solve that problem? Counterparty risk arise when there is an over-the-counter contract. Over-the-counter contract means that two parties are directly involved with each other, and in such a case, counterparty risk is there. So to solve that, there is something called exchange. So in exchange traded derivatives, what happens that all the parties, all the businessmen, all the farmers in stocks, all the buyers and sellers goes to the exchange and they sell and buy their product to the exchange, and then exchange does the settlement. A businessman come to the exchange and he will pay the money to the exchange. Then the farmer come to exchange and he will give the crop to the exchange. So as per the rest of that day, the businessman get the crop and the farmer get the money from the exchange. So this is a system where if one of the party runs away, there is a proper mechanism which is called margin, in which is paid by each party before the deal, so that if they run away, the exchange could settle the amount with the other party through this margins. So this is the system where counterparty risk doesn't exist, because exchange is there, and exchange is a very highly reputed body, something which is directly in control with the government and regulated by some government financial institutions, and that's why it is free from counterparty, though there could be some cases like that, but it is highly unlikely. So these are what we had to discuss about over the counter and exchange traded derivatives. In forward commitments, the over the counter derivatives are called forwards and the exchange traded derivatives are called futures. In options, both are called options, but one is OTC option, other is exchange traded options. The other issue which is there in exchange traded option is that in over the counter you can customize the product whichever way you want. Suppose if you want just 10 kg crop, you can have it, but in futures or exchange traded options, there is a standard deal, like where it would be the issue, like for example a future could be like only for 50 ton, so there is a lot and per future is giving a deal of 50 ton. So for people who want 40 ton, 30 ton, 10 ton, they can't get the deal they actually want. They either have to opt for 50 ton or they have to go to the OTC. This is not an issue in the OTC option. Now we look at terms we have studied in this LOS. So first is forward commitments, where two parties are forced or obliged to do the deal with the other party in the future. And the second one is contingent claim, where one of the parties has having a right and other is having an obligation to do the deal with the other part. The third term we learned is clearing, where there is all the deals happen in the exchange, so the exchange make a copy and or note that this is the amount of deal which happened in whole day by a number of businessmen and m number of farmers. That's an example of one type of derivative. There could be between sellers and buyers of a stock, sellers and buyer of currency. So that's what we have to understand. The fourth term is settlement. Settlement is a thing where the exchange after end of the day of all the deals, when it has not yet, it makes the settlement. That is, it is transacting the amount to one party and the delivering the goods or whatever stock or currency to the other party. So this is called settlement. The last term is called margin. Margin is basically the amount the exchange charge to each of its parties, so that in the case they run away, the exchange has enough amount to fulfill the deal with the other party. So this is what we have to study in this LOS, friends. We will discuss more about futures, options and other derivatives in the remaining sessions of this reading. So thank you very much for watching this video, and please like, subscribe and share this, and share with as many people as you can, so that a lot of people can get advantage of it. And please comment about this video that how can I improve it. Thanks again.